Welcome to the third in our series of Touring Texas Songwriters with our host, the long tall Texan, Mr. Bruno Michel. Today's show features country songwriter Thomas Michael Riley and is brought to you by the Barrel Brewing Company and the citizens of historic Salado, Texas. Thomas Michael Riley is recorded live in front of a studio audience for the broadcast on Country Radio Switzerland. Get ready to tap your feet and sing along with Thomas Michael Riley.
Let him go back. All right. Are you okay back there?
Yep.
No, I mean Richard.
Yeah, we're rolling.
He's wandering around. All right, so Thomas Michael Riley, well known and famous from his festivals in Lukenbach, from, 20-something years of professional music down there.
15 full-time, but I was a songwriter prior to that, so I had a day job.
So,
Kept me alive.
He's one of the real old, not old like old, real old country guys, and he keeps it that way, and it's always something we're glad to hear. So you grew up with 6 siblings.
Well, there were 7 of us totally. I have 5 boys and 2 girls in the Riley family.
So 6 in you, and you're also 6'6".
Yeah. Got stuck
Does that mean you were the quickest at the dinner table all the time?
Yeah, they were the quick and the hungry.
You had to run.
That was quick, yeah. You didn't know if there was going to be leftovers, so you made sure to grab it the first time around.
You obviously made it.
I did okay. Yeah, I think I am. Yeah, my mom was about 5 feet tall, and my dad's 5'7". So.
Wow.
But the mailman was about 6'6". I don't know what
Well, as long as you were born and didn't know the postal code and everything by heart, then there's no danger. All right, I think let's start with a song.
You want to start with
a
song?
What do you think?
All right, let's start. Where should we start? I'm going to start with this one because it's where it started for me. I was playing a music festival in Boerne, Texas. Y'all know where that is?
Yep.
Called Burgess Fest. And I was opening for a guy named Gary P. Nunn. And he was one of my Texas heroes. And I started out with this song, and it's called the Redneck Riviera. He said, "Could I record that song?" I said, "Well, that'd be an honor." And then he put it on his greatest hits. And so that's how I got started in the music business. So sometimes I'm very grateful to Gary P. Nunn, and sometimes I wonder why he ever got me into this stuff. South of San Antonio, outside of Rances Pass. Y'all know where that is? Little east of Corpus Christi. You won't find it on a map. It's in between the condos and those $1 million homes. There's a campground on the ocean where all us real people go. On the Redneck Riviera, welcome to the promised land. Unhitched the trailer from my pickup, put a cold one in my hand. I don't need no fancy high-rise, I'm living off the land. I got all I'll ever need, even Bruno's here with me. And my castle's in the sand. Roll out the carpet grass, pull the awnings down for shade. String up the jalapeno Christmas lights, our home is looking great. Pull down the ice chest and the lawn chairs, put on shades and sunscreen too. Stake out a little piece of real estate, low monthly payments, but lordy, what a view. On the Redneck Riviera, welcome to the promised land. Unhitched the trailer from my pickup, put a cold one in my hand. I don't need no fancy high-rise, I'm living on the land. I got all I'll ever need, my family's here with me, my castle's in the sand. Campfire biscuits for breakfast. Tonight we'll barbecue. We'll play all day along the beaches like all those rich folks do. Tonight we're fishing off the jetty, counting stars until the dawn. We'll grab that fishing pole tighter now. I think you got a big one home on the Redneck Riviera. Welcome to the promised land. Welcome, everybody. Unhitch the trailer from my pickup, put a cold one in my other hand. I don't need no fancy high-rise, I'm living off the land. I got all I'll ever need. All of y'all are here with me. My castle's in the sand. Yeah, I got all I'll ever need. Got my family here with me. My castle's in the sand. Thank you, fellow redneckers.
Really cool. Now, you already mentioned that you started songwriting around the 8th grade.
Yes.
Can you remember your first song and what it was about?
Yeah, it sucked. It was about Alice. Alice Chamberlain was the first girl I ever slow danced with. And so it was about slow dancing with Alice. And it was awful. Now, the dancing was good. And she was actually taller than me. In 8th grade, now this is weird. 8th grade, I was 5'7". In 9th grade, I was 6'3".
Whoa.
And I couldn't walk or chew gum. And I certainly couldn't do them both at the same time. But I couldn't do either one. So very awkward. In fact, I'm still trying to grow into it.
So when you think it was awful, I assume you don't want to play it. So.
No. And she didn't want to hear it either.
All right. I read that for your first paying gig, you actually had to borrow the sound system from the church.
I did.
And bring it back the right next day,
Yeah.
which probably wasn't so good because of the headache and stuff.
Yeah.
So how did that go?
Well, I was raised by nuns. I went to school at St. Paul the Apostle Catholic School in Richardson, Texas. And so and that's where I played guitar for the Mass. And so that was kind of cool. But they let me borrow the PA. My first gig was a Jolly Mug Pub on Lemon Avenue in Dallas, Texas. And I didn't have a PA, so I borrowed the PA from the church. And I was hooking it back up. Didn't sleep that night because we finished the gig at 2 o'clock, tore down by 3, got out of there by 4. 5 o'clock, I'm setting stuff up in church, and 6 o'clock passed out. But it went well. And then, because once you find out what you're supposed to do on this earth, I think you're screwed. Because you can either shake your fist at God and tell him he's wrong, or you can go do it. And so I did a little bit of both.
Okay, cool. Well, let's do a little bit of both and do another song.
Okay. Anyway, since that time, I've ended up with 12 albums of original music, and some of the songs are really good, and some are better, and some are worse. But I had to cull a bunch of them because after the first album, I knew the songs would come back and haunt you because they just don't go away. But this one's on the newest CD, and we just released it to radio this month.
True.
And it's called Feel Rich. Bless you. And I could not have written this, a dozen years ago, because I didn't know then what I know now. If you want to feel rich, take a look at your life. Count everything money can't buy. Count all your blessings, count the ones you love twice. If you wanna feel rich, count everything money can't buy. Can't buy happiness, won't buy true love, won't buy the ocean with the moon and the stars up above. Won't buy one more breath at the end of your life. If you wanna feel rich, count everything money can't buy. can't buy compassion or the love of a dog. Kindness from a stranger won't buy patience or luck. It won't buy an open mind, a second chance in this life. If you wanna feel rich, count everything money can't buy. Can't buy time, won't buy true friends, won't buy good manners. Let me say it again. Won't buy happiness, no matter how hard you try. But if you wanna feel rich, if you wanna feel rich, if you wanna feel rich, count everything money can't buy. Feeling pretty rich right now.
And so true. Absolutely true. I think none of us could have written that when we were young, you know, because we didn't really know what it is.
Foolish.
Getting better. Getting better. All right, where are we? Back in 2002, you made a decision to quit your day job and, start whole music thing full time. How difficult was that decision for you to make? I mean, of course, you can't wake up in the morning and say, "Oh, I'm going to be a musician."
It was difficult, and I didn't get any help from my friends. I told Chris Wall. Y'all know Chris Wall? Mm-hmm. I said, "Chris, I'm going to quit my day job and go full-time music." He said, "Don't do it." And he said, "Where's your job?" He said, "Because I want to go get your job and quit full-time music." So he wasn't encouraging at all. You know? Of course, I had no idea. But I was happy 26 days a year in my day job because there were 26 pay periods. And now I can't really do the math, but now I'm happy, over 340 days a year, and then there's 26 days when I cry. But that's a pretty good trade.
Pretty good trade, yeah.
So yeah, it was tough. I did not take it lightly.
If you could do it all over again, you would do it again.
I'd do it sooner. Yeah, yep. I wouldn't wait so long. Yeah. But I left a mark a lot. I was a school teacher in Liberty Hill. I crammed 4 years of college in San Marcos into 6.5 years. I did. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. My dad, I told him, I said, "Dad, I think when I grow up I want to be a musician." He said, "Well, you can't do both."
Grow up and be a musician.
Yeah. So I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. And anyway, so that degree in English let me teach English in Liberty Hill, Texas. And then I had 7th and 8th grade grammar, and then you'd walk across the breezeway before the great big high school, and then teach American literature and world drama. So I was pretty good at Aeschylus and Euripides and Mark Twain, stuff like that. And Hemingway was my favorite author. So he said we should live our lives corto y derecho, and I translated that literally in Spanish. It means on Sunday afternoon, don't sit home on your ass. Come on out and listen to music, because life is short.
That's right, you never know. All right, let's play another one.
At the Crossbar Hotel. Accommodations are slim. 3 squares come around. Mama's cooking is just a whim. And the hands on the clock don't move at all. That don't bother me. Father Time's a friend of mine. I'm Hemingway's Own Gypsy. I received my name from the underground, folks that slide through your hometown you never see. Now I played their cards and their guitars. I drank 1,000,000 bottles of their whiskey. I ain't no savior, ain't no saint. Running with me is a little risky. I'm just a mystical man of song and dance. I'm Hemingway's own gypsy. I might just be the last of the wild and the free, kin to the cross and southern breeze. Heaven knows I'm Hemingway's own gypsy. Well, I got me a book and began to read about a boy living by the deep blue sea in the wintertime. I read Steinbeck, Faulkner, the Bible, Tennessee. Hemingway is the only thing that stuck in my mind. And the years rolled by like a rambling train. Someone said you can't go home again. I never looked back. I had my fortune told by a magic rose. Said make a little love, but learn to cover your tracks. Now I can be a problem, I can be a pain. I can be as pure as a driving rain if I have to. I can be here, I can be gone in the blink of an eye. Won't take long for me to move. I can be smarter, I can be dumb, I can be sober, I can be drunk in a heartbeat. And you'll know me on the street when we meet as Hemingway's own gypsy. I might just be the last of the wild and the free, kin to the cross and the southern breeze. Heaven knows I'm Hemingway's own gypsy. Now generations come and away they go. What you reap is what you sown in a lifetime. I've seen the devil's ring, heard the sirens sing, and their desire covered me on a silk night. And I caught me a ride on a comet's tail to watch the fiery trail and feel the speed. Now I leave this old world turning for you to drive the wheels of destiny. And someday at the pearly gates with my hat in hand and a conversation with St. Pete, I'll say sorry I was late by a couple of days. There's just a few more things I had to see. And the Lord knows well my given name, but there ain't much left of my family tree. When it came to song, he rode along, guided the pen of Hemingway's own gypsy. I might just be the last of the wild and the free, kin to the cross and the southern breeze. Heaven knows I'm Hemingway's own gypsy. Yeah, a mystical man, a song and dance. I'm Hemingway's own gypsy. For Greg Gorman.
Now, one of the lines in that song, if you listen to it, was "Make a Little Love." So what do you think? Should we tell them the story about your last hit single and the town of Brownwood, Texas?
Yeah, I waited, 15 years now I've been full-time in music, and I waited till 14 years to release one of my songs to radio with me performing. Gary had done Perfectly Normal, which went to #1, and then he'd done Redneck Riviera and Cow Pasture Pool. But I never had sung, so nobody knew who I was in radio land. So the song I chose was called 10 Toes Up and 10 Toes Down to release to radio, and it got banned immediately in Brownwood, Texas.
Can you believe it?
Highly controversial subject. It's about making love and procreation and things like that. And the program manager thought he just didn't want that song to be an evil influence on young minds, on the young minds of his listeners. And I told him that if it hadn't been for 10 Toes Up and 10 Down, you would not be here, nor would you be the program manager. But you get to call the shots.
I think we let them decide, but just play it.
Oh, yeah,
right?
it's a pretty sick song. Yeah. Well, and when you go visit radio, they want to know, especially if you're a songwriter, well, what was your influence for this? And, what were you thinking when you wrote that? And So they asked me about this 10 toes up and 10 toes down. You obviously haven't listened to the song, have you?
Who here does not know that song?
I don't know if I do.
There's not that many, but it's still good to play.
Yeah. So, In Spite of Brownwood, it still was one of the top 100 played songs on the radio last year in Texas and Oklahoma. So, yeah. So it's kind of a cool little tune. Our love makes the world go round. 10 toes up, 10 toes down. 2 hearts touch, 2 hearts pound. 10 toes up, 10 toes down. Ocean crashing on the sand. Holding heaven in my hand. No one else for miles around. 10 toes up, 10 toes down. 10 toes up, 10 toes down. This ain't no wham bam, thank you ma'am. Hurry up and go again, romance. There's no hurry, we got all night long. Well, it's a deep breath, take our time, lovers for a lifetime. Slow dance. Stars disappear, storms get nearer. 2 young hearts beat louder and clearer. Here it comes, lightning flashing, waves rolling, thunder crashing, raindrops pounding down. Harder now, harder now. Our love makes the world go round. 10 toes up, 10 toes down. Look at all the love we found. 10 toes up, 10 toes down. 10 toes up, 10 toes down. 10 toes up, 10 toes down. Y'all like it so far? Yeah. Let's make it instead of a sing-along, we'll make it a sign-along. So sing-alongs are easy, yeah. Sign-along, we'll just do this. When I go 10 toes up, put your 10 fingers up in the air, 10 toes down, it's like this now. But just know this, unlike a sing-along. Sing-along, you can fake it and just move your mouth. I can see you, and I'll know if you're not signing with me. It's just up and down. All right, we'll see what happens. Don't try this on radio.
Hard to see.
Yin and yang, ebb and flow. Holding on, letting go. Worlds apart on common ground. Y'all ready? 10 toes up, 10 toes down. 10 toes up, 10 toes down. Y'all are really good. This ain't no wham bam, thank you ma'am. Hurry up and go again, romance. There's no hurry, we got all night long. Yeah, it's a deep breath, take our time, lovers for a lifetime. Slow dance. Stars disappear, storms get nearer. And 2 young hearts beat louder and clearer. Here it comes, lightning flashing, waves rolling, thunder crashing, raindrops pounding down. Harder now, harder now. Our love makes the world go round. 10 toes up and 10 toes down. Thank you for being with me there. Look at all the love we found. 10 toes up and 10 toes down. 10 toes up and 10 toes down. 10 toes up and 10 toes down. It's so much better when we do it together.
Now, if you really want to become a fan of that song, you can still order probably some T-shirts on Thomas' website.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got a bunch of them.
And they look funny, too. Actually, once in Lukenbach at one of your festivals, they had a whole crowd of, I think, 2 or 3 rows of people having that T-shirt on and doing that thing, you know.
Yeah.
That looked really pretty funny.
Yeah, be careful before you decide to be a fan. There are a lot of sick people. And you can't tell anybody. You can't put it on Facebook. You just have, you can tell word of mouth. Because the Russians are on Facebook now.
Yeah, they bought 3 ads.
Yeah, you don't know who's going to follow you. You know how hard it is to get people out of your lives? It's so difficult. You'll spend more time, waste more time. We've worked for 12 years to have a festival in Luckenbach, which is just good music for good people. That's it. And all I try to do is make sure the music's good. And then y'all have been holding up your end and making sure the people are good. But if you let one jerk in there, it's a lot of work to get them out. We give them their money back and pay them not to come. So we just... Y'all help me.
So you wrote hundreds of songs. Do you even know how many you wrote to this day?
No, I just say 500 because then I know I'm not lying. Because there's so many in the trash, you know. Because once you set the bar, then you want to raise it. You don't want to go under it. So you want to try to raise the bar. And you can't write about the same thing again because I've already done that. I get bored easily. And there's so many subjects in life you can write about. The only thing I found out, and Tom T. Hall taught me this. So I'm not just name dropping. I'm name dropping a big name. He said, Riley, the thing that's unique about your songwriting is you, from your perspective. Everybody is unique. God didn't make two people alike. So they could all tell the same experience, but it'd be from their perspective. He said, so don't worry about saying something that's been said before because it's the first time it's ever come from you. That's good. And I thought, well, okay, that's good advice.
You could actually think that guy wrote read my questions before, but he didn't.
Oh.
The thing is, the first song you played was Redneck Riviera. Did you know back then that Tom T. Hall actually wrote a different song with the same name?
No, I still don't know that today.
Really?
Until now. Did he really?
He did.
Was it about the same thing?
Yeah. No, it's totally different lyrics.
Okay.
But it's called Redneck Riviera.
Huh.
Tom T. Hall wrote it. He actually had it on his his album Sop Choppy.
Wow.
Way back in, what was it, something like the 80s or whatever.
Huh.
Yeah, you can check it out, actually.
No,
even online.
that's very
I think
cool.
it's on YouTube as well. You can check that song out. It's called Redneck Riviera. I was like, wait a minute. So I listened to it. I said, that's not the same song. It's got the same title. And since I know you like Tom T. Hall,
Oh, I love him.
so he's kind of that songwriter. He turns 83 in May.
Wow.
Now, who are you, your songwriter icons beside like Tom T. Hall?
Well, of course, Guy Clark and Bob Dylan and Nancy Griffith and the Eagles, the Beatles, the Stones. I just like anybody that wrote their own stuff. Mm-hmm. No matter who, and I'd hear somebody else cover it, and I'd go, okay, I want to hear whoever wrote that cover that song, because then I know I'm getting it firsthand.
Yeah.
So, and they always seem to put the correct emphasis on the right syllable when it's the writer.
Yeah.
So I like that.
All right. Well, I think we play just another song, right?
You want another song?
Yeah.
Any idea what you want?
I'm running out of questions. So any ideas, guys?
Y'all want to sing along?
requests?
You tired of signing? You know where Blanco, Texas is? How about Johnson City? The song is about those two towns. I guess there's a woman in there. And some red wine. 10 miles as a crow flies. 5 minutes the way she drives. The next stop on our Greyhound bus ride. Nobody really knows. Nobody really knows. Johnson City's a long way from Blanco. Why she's walking back home, I don't know. Tried to give her a ride, she said hell no. Needed time alone to be on her own. And Johnson City's a long way from Blanco. Whoa. All right, y'all sing that part with me. Ready? Johnson City's a long way from Blanco. Whoa. It's not gonna change. Let's put some whoa on the end of Blanco. Here we go. Johnson City's a long way from Blanco. Whoa. A lot of whoa in this song. Temptation and nightlife. The Silver K on a Saturday night. Too much dancing, too much red wine. Nobody really knows. Nobody really knows. Johnson City's a long way from Blanco. Why she's walking back home, I don't know. Tried to give her a ride, she said hell no. Needed time alone to be on her own. And Johnson City's a long way from Blanco. Let's do it 2 more times. We're getting good now. Johnson City's a long way from Blanco. 1 more time. Johnson City's a long way from Blanco. She fell for a star. Stars fell from her eyes. The man of her dreams was just an ordinary guy. Johnson City's a long way from Blanco. Why she's walking back home, I don't know. Tried to give her a ride, she said hell no. Needed time alone to be on her own. And Johnson City's a long way from Blanco. 2 more times. Johnson City's a long way from Blanco. 1 more time, a cappella with a big finish. Here we go. Johnson City's a long way from Blanco. Man, y'all are good.
You had another line in that song that reminded me of another song of yours. And since you mentioned...
You've been listening.
Since you mentioned that you actually play guitar in church, the line that you had in here was that she said, hell no. But then you also had another song where you said, hell yes, hell no.
Heaven yes, hell no. Yeah.
So heaven yes, hell no. That's what it was, right?
Yep. Yeah, I took all the sermons across the United States on this Sunday morning, boiled the messages down to 4 words, and they were heaven yes, hell no. That was it.
You guys want to hear that?
Put them into a polka. I'm going to have to tune this. We got a saying, tune it or die. And I'm very close to dying. But I'm proud to play this song. I tell you what, I do play cowboy churches when I'm not too hungover. And it's not really my fault that I drank. It's people like you that keep sending drinks up. And alcohol abuse is when you waste those drinks that you brought up.
Right.
And I was taught, waste not, want not. In place of that one, can I try this one? It's the same kind of thing. It's a Sunday cowboy church kind of song. But this one, that almost the same stretch of road that I rode Johnson City on Highway 281, it has these little passing lanes that I call chicken lanes. So in between, between Blanco and 290, where it cuts off to us, there's a lane where it says you can pass now, and then right when you accelerate, it says now stop.
Yeah.
So it's just. Then y'all still pray. Be careful. That, whether you believe it or not, that stuff works. And I made the mistake of praying while I was on that stretch of road, and it wasn't. I'm not a long prayer. It's just quick prayer. I needed inspiration for one more song for my Cowboy Church CD, and all creativity comes from God. So whether you believe that or not, that's where it comes from. And so I threw the prayer up there, and then head on in my lane was an 18-wheeler, and on the front of the truck, outlined in Christmas lights, was the sign of a cross.
That's a good one too.
And I had to swerve off the shoulder because his lane had ended, but he did not end.
It's another great one.
So I thought, well,
sure,
I got it. Thanks for the song. A Freightliner truck late night pulled up to the roadside park. I was angry and tired, wasted and wired. It was way past dark. Heard the air brake shrilling on the radiator grill. I saw the outline sign of a cross. Then he dimmed his headlights and that cross shined bright through my window shield. I was blinded at first, in the middle of cursing, I bit my tongue. Grabbed the Jim Beam bottle from the middle of my lap and screwed the cap back on. I woke up and dragged my Charlie horse leg to his cab and lit a cigarette. When I asked why the hell he had his lights so bright, he smiled and said, I'm carrying a cross. it's the least I can do. He carried one for me, I can carry one too. Down the darkest road, I'll never get lost. Following the light, burning in the night, I'm carrying a cross. Well, the next few hours we shared our stories about life on the road. And I reached in the back and tossed him my jacket when the wind turned cold. Heard his whole life story from whiskey days to glory to the gospel according to John. Then he gave my coat back, said it's time to hit the rack, I'm moving on. I'm carrying a cross, it's the least I can do. He carried one for me, I can carry one too. Down the darkest road, I'll never get lost. Following the light, burning in the night, I'm carrying a cross. Well, I slept in the car neath a blanket of stars till the early morning. And when I reached for my car keys, I found what he'd left me the night before. Then my front coat pocket on a keychain locket was a cross on the end of that chain. And I remembered his words like chapter and verse when I pulled away. Now I'm carrying a cross, it's the least I can do. He carried one for me, I can carry one too. Down the darkest road, I'll never get lost. Following the light, burning in the night, I'm carrying a cross. Following the light, burning in the night, I'm carrying a cross. Be careful on the road.
Great. Absolutely great. Perfectly Normal.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. It's labeled to have been one of your first hit songs. Since then, you wrote hundreds more. So,
yes.
What is your favorite song of yours, if any?
Oh, I have favorites. It changes, daily, hourly, weekly, monthly, and annually. Changes all the time. Right now, it's probably Happiness. A song I wrote called Happiness. And I was really pissed off when I wrote it. And I've got kids, and I used to, when they were younger, I just wished the best for them. And then when they got about high school age, I kind of wished for them to get knocked down once in a while, just so they'd get back up and know what that feels like.
And get back up and ride.
Instead of waiting until late in life to get knocked down and then not knowing that you can get back up. I think it's a good lesson to learn early. So, and then I prayed for them to to have lifelong friends and to know what true friendships were, and also to be betrayed. Because unless you're betrayed by a friend, I don't think you value those friendships as strong as you would have if you hadn't been betrayed. So little things that I wish for them, I don't want to kill them. I just want them to get knocked down a little bit and learn from them and take those things into life with them. Right. And it's hard because you want all the best, but if you just gave them all the best, then that they wouldn't enjoy this thing called life because they would never know that there's other things out there.
So I think Happiness it is.
Happiness. Oh, happiness. So I think, one of the lines probably came through about the friendship thing. Happiness ain't something that you find, it's something that you choose. My granddad taught me years ago when he caught me with the blues. And I've kept it with me even when it seems like I got nothing left to lose. Happiness ain't something that you find, it's something that you choose. Joy is not $1 million mansion on an island far away. Joy is a decision about how you're gonna live your life each day. Grateful for the storm clouds and every single drop of rain. Joy is a decision about how you're gonna live your life each day. Why won't people understand the power to change your life is right there in your hands? Friends are people God puts in your life for you to toss away. Friends are here to share our laughter, help us through our toughest days. Somebody to get stupid with, someone to hear you cry and scream. Friends, they cherish one another's hopes, they're kind to one another's dreams. Why won't people understand the power to change your life is right there in your hand? Happiness ain't something that you find, it's something that you choose. My granddad taught me years ago when he caught me with the blues, and I've kept it with me even when it seems like I got nothing left to lose. Happiness ain't something that you find, it's something that you choose. Oh, happiness ain't something that you find, it's something that you choose.
Now I know why this is one of your favorites.
One of them.
Cool song.
Today.
Great song.
Ask me tomorrow. Text
Well,
me.
I call you.
It'll be different.
Now, if you look at the other songwriters all the way around, at least in Texas, is there any song of theirs that you wish you would have written?
Oh, yeah. Rusty Weir's I Stood Up. He let me record it on my album. And that's just... Oh, there's so many good songs. Good God. Yeah, I'd probably... If I could just do their best, I'd put them all on my album. Because they're really good.
Best of my
Billy
friends,
Joe
or
Shaver.
something.
Oh, if you just go down... Everything he's ever done, I love, you know. Bruce Robinson. I mean, these guys have all played my festival, and I just, you know, kind of go home and kick the cat and wonder, why do I bother to write there? I mean, and I remember what Tom T. Hall said, oh, from your perspective. I go, yeah. But these guys are really good.
Absolutely. Let's talk about your upcoming festival.
Okay.
June
7th, 8th, and 9th, Luckenbach, Texas, population 3.
And
Have y'all been to Luckenbach?
Sure.
It's nothing there. So the only baggage that is in Luckenbach is what you brought with you. So it's a great place for folks to just leave all their baggage at the door and come in. And they say everybody's somebody there.
Yep.
And it's true because there's nothing else. So there's no trappings. There's no politics. There's just good people, good music.
True.
For a weekend, so it's like Woodstock without the rain and the mud.
No,
and,
don't say that. What about 4 years ago with the big
we had
storm?
rain and mud. Okay, so it's similar to Woodstock. It's peace, love, and Texas music.
We had to close the damn lights from the dance hall,
right.
remember?
That's right. Yeah. We pulled everybody out because we dry camp RVs. There's 2 weekends a year where Luckenbach allows RV parking. Because it's all dry camping, and one is the hug-in, which is the Valentine's weekend bunch, and then the other one is my festival. So it's pretty cool.
Yep, it is definitely.
And the spirits are there from all the folks that have played there in the past, all the way back. You remember when Jerry Jeff and Gary P and the Los Gonzos, everybody the great Viva Terlingua album was recorded live there. So. You can feel, and Bob Wills played there. You can feel those things. I can, because I think music helps bridge not only the gap between this world and the next, but I think it takes what's genuine in all of our souls and brings them together easier than words can do. So
Right.
you get all that good feeling.
And this year you got actually a couple of new acts come.
Yeah, every year I get some new, because it started 12 years ago with 10 bands, and then it moved to 15. Now it's 20, and everybody that plays there, all the artists that play there, they want to come back, and they're not worried about what they get paid because we can't afford them the first time. So but the first time the headliner Friday night was Billy Joe Shaver, and Saturday night was Gary P. Nunn, and then fill in the rest, with whoever we had, and then this year we don't really care so much about the big headliners. It's just average people like Max Stalling and Tommy Everson, Chris
Larry
Wall,
Joe,
Larry Joe Taylor,
Davin James,
Dale's brother. I mean, who are my Blacktop Gypsies? Andy K. Joyner and Heather. Just great. And then the most phenomenal thing for me is the picking circles. Because they're not too big. They're just right size. So it's still got a great feel. So we've kept it. We've strived to keep it small. There were years when I went out and I had some backing, and we would. Hal Ketchum's played it 3 times, and I couldn't afford him any of those 3 times, but he played it anyway. But we went out and got somebody a big name. I think the biggest name we got was Roger Krager, and it was very expensive for me, and but nobody really came out there to see him like you would think. They were just there because it was so many people. I think Bruce Robinson was there that year.
Basically, that's what it is.
Yeah, so it really doesn't matter what the names are. They know they're going to be good people, but the fans that come out there are the ones that drink beer and they don't throw it. So I told that to Larry Joe. I said, that's the difference between our festivals. And you make a lot of money at yours. But that's 30,000 versus 1,000.
About 4 years ago, you were also the guy who brought Coup de Grace back.
Coup de Grace,
Martindale interrupted his lawyer career for another gig.
Just for my festival.
They still don't play too many.
No, he doesn't. No. But I like to take some credit just for having the party, probably. But then I give Luckenbach the credit, the place, the town,
true.
the feeling. I wrote a song about that feel, if you want to hear it. It's called The Boys from Luckenbach.
Absolutely.
Because you remember that line in the song, Luckenbach, Texas? It was Waylon and Willie and the Boys. And we all knew who Waylon was and Willie. But I never knew who the boys were. Then it came to me in a flask. We're the boys from Luckenbach, the ones Waylon and Willie were singing about. So pick up the tempo, turn back the clock. Here come the boys from Luckenbach. Got into town early, we packed our guitars, danced in the street, picked songs at the bar. Sons and the daughters who never forgot. We're the boys from Luckenbach. 3 chords and the truth every time we play. Not so innocent youth, they showed us the way. 3 chords and the truth, from country to rock. We're the boys from Luckenbach. Got back to the basics when we first came of age. The day Gary P. Nunn and Jerry Jeff walked onto that stage. Heard Hondo told stories where he could make you believe. They're all in the chorus, singing harmonies. 3 chords and the truth every time we play. Not so innocent youth, but they showed us the way. 3 chords and the truth, we we never forgot. We're the boys from looking back. We're the music, we're the words, we're the melody the world still hasn't heard. We're the outlaws in country today. We're the songs your radio won't play. We're the boys from looking back, the ones Waylon and Willie were singing about. Pick up the tempo and turn back the clock. Here come the boys from looking back. Yeah, we are the boys from looking back. Let's go to Looking Back, Texas, Waylon and Willie and the boys.
Great. That reminds me of a story in a song, but I forgot actually whose song it was. Did you ever hear that thing when Honda and Jerry Jeff, in the middle of the night, totally drunk, got into the Honda's truck, went up the hill and then turned the lights off and the engine off and see how far the truck will go?
Yes. Yeah,
what song was that?
It's on one of the songs on the Jerry Jeff album.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
But I forgot which one it
Yeah.
was. Oh, you don't know the lyrics to that one?
Nope.
It would be a good song. Yeah, they actually did that stone drunk. You know, if you go to Lukenbach, it's up and down and up and down. And there's a couple steep grades. So they went up there like 2 or 3 in the morning after they played and then shut the lights off, shut the engine off, and saw how far the truck would go. And then next time they measured if they could go even further. So that's how they did it back then, I guess.
Question, they were all leaning forward to make sure it went further.
There
Right.
you go. Yeah. You just lift up a little off the seat.
Probably true, yeah. Threw the empty beer cans out
Yeah.
so we'll get lighter. Are there any, before I come to my last one, are there any questions from you guys? Anyhow, for Thomas.
6'6", fully erect. Just an answer.
Hey, you made me completely.
You didn't by
Yeah.
any chance write Gulf Coast Time, did you?
No, I'm not sure if that was Larry Joe or who.
Doug Krager, I believe.
Oh, okay. That's a great song where he's out there.
Love that song.
Yeah. And I love his voice on that song, too. I heard that in Oklahoma. Made me homesick. Y'all glad you came here?
Yeah.
I'm glad you had me here. I don't know whose idea this was.
Oh, of course. Let me ask you the last one.
My pleasure.
Let's go to the last one here. Usual question, those of you who have been here last time and before, you know. So if you were to interview yourself, which question do you ask that I did not?
You're pretty thorough. Let's see. I'm not that inquisitive of myself. No, I don't really have any more questions for me. I look pretty hard at the guy in the mirror at the end of each day and try to chip away. I figure we're all works in progress and nobody's done yet. So, no, I got nothing for me. I could ask me a question, but I don't want to waste my time.
Where did you gain your sense of humor?
Oh, at a young age. Well, with 7 kids, if you couldn't laugh at yourself, the rest of us would. And if we found out what really bothered you, we would not let that go. As long as you could act like that didn't bother you. You know, you might have to go into another room or a mile away and scream. But, yeah, you can't show too many chinks in the armor around a big family.
It's a real pleasure with your personality.
Oh, yeah.
Have that humor.
Well, you need it because it's a rough world out there, and I don't think you should leave home without it. They'll tear you up. Yeah. Now, I've been sad. I got to be pretty happy to sing a sad song, and I've written a bunch of really sad songs because life's not all about giggling every minute, you know. So there's some tough things. And
Can I ask you about the 10 toes are up?
sure.
No.
Yeah. Was the inspiration for that? Yeah.
He wants to know how this works.
That's right.
This is my husband. Our PT knows. Lets him in.
All right. What do you think? Let's do one more,
Sure.
and then
Yeah, I've got
Call it a day.
about 470 more I can do for you.
that's good.
Y'all got time?
All lay down here and listen.
Where
to you.
should we go? Oh, this one was hard for me to finish because sometimes a song, I've learned to quit trying to write. They'll come to you. It's like if you try to find a dog to adopt or bring in your family, just wait for it, okay? At the right time, that dog will appear, and then you'll know it was probably meant to be. But if you go out looking for them, I don't care what it is, they're going to, things will be put in your life for a reason if you'll just wait for them. So I've learned that about songs. Instead of chasing them, wait for them. And then when they won't go away, then I pick them up because there's too many voices in my head to try to listen to them all. And so this one wouldn't go away. And it started, we're near Hobby Airport, Telephone Road, Houston, Texas. Aunt Gertie and Uncle Grady lived in the same home there for 65 years. And if you go through that subdivision now, it's run down. And there's rental properties that are deteriorating, there's crack houses, and then there's their home. And it's pristine. It looks like it was probably 65 years ago. And every blade of grass is perfectly manicured, and everything in the garden's growing and blooming. And it's just amazing. So anyway, we brought them a Whataburger, stopped by the house. I went outside. Back then I was smoking, so I went outside and stepped into the garden. It was a rose garden, and lit up a cigarette and tripped over like a knee-high statue of the Virgin Mary, the one where she's got her palms to the heaven and she's crushing out the serpent with her foot. And she was covered in roses, but so I didn't see her at first. And I stood behind her, and I looked, and I thought, man, 65 years, she's probably seen a lot of things go on. So from her perspective, what could she see, even though it was just a statue? So, and she was facing down the sidewalk to the screen door that led to the kitchen, and I could see Grady and Gertie bowing their heads to say grace before they chowed down on that Whataburger. And I thought, well, there's a song in there. I mean, there's stories in there. And then when I left there, I was singing, about a statue of Mary in the garden. And then and the first two verses came real easy, and I put the song away because I had no idea what was going to happen next or how it would end. And I had a deadline, a recording session, and I fell asleep. I was living in Nashville then. I fell asleep in a big easy chair and woke up in the middle of the night, and there it was. Just grabbed a pen, and then the last verse was done. So I hope you like it. 18 candles and a handful of dreams. Screen door slams, a baby screams. Barely 17 when she first made love with that football player at the senior prom. They got a 2-room house on the edge of town. Hardwood floors, but a little run down. There's a rose garden where the weeds have grown. Gonna take a lot of work, but it's a place of their own. And there's a statue of Mary in the garden, holding out her hands as if to pray, watching through the screen door to the kitchen where they bow their heads to pray and ask for one more miracle today. Rise and shine at 5 each day. She's waiting tables at the local cafe. He drives a paper route in a broke-down car. Got their whole life savings in that cookie jar. When Uncle Sam calls, he enlists, gonna make a better life for his wife and kid. 6 months later, he's off to war. She cries out, just let him come back, Lord. And there's a statue of Mary in the garden, holding out her hands as if to pray, watching through the screen door to the kitchen where she bows her head to pray and asks for one more miracle today. Cold winter nights melt into May. They both write letters back and forth every day. She talks about the baby and how he's grown. Says he doesn't know when, but he's gonna come home. And one hot summer night, she was down on her knees, planting and praying and pulling up weeds, June bugs danced and the crickets sang, but the world went quiet when the telephone rang. They say you never really know what you got till it's gone, and every day that passed, their love grew stronger. She listened for a voice on the telephone. She heard, "Baby, it's me, and I'm coming home." And she screamed and cried and gave thanks to the Lord, bounced with a baby across the hardwood floor, danced outside in the garden that night where a red rose bloomed under a starry sky. And in the moonlight, she saw Mary in the garden, holding out her hands as if to pray, watching through the screen door to the kitchen where they'd bowed their heads to pray, and asked for one more miracle today. Asked for one more miracle today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bruno. Thank you all so much.
Really cool. That's what I love about this guy, you know. He is not only a guy with humor and can party every now and then, he also has really deep going lyrics sometimes, and he's writing that stuff out of his life, so that's what I love about him.
All I got to play the good ones for you. I got
Really
a bunch of bad ones. Thank you, buddy.
That was cool. Thank you.